If you've spent much time outdoors, you're probably familiar with a material called Gore-Tex. Now, Gore-Tex is a membrane that's put into jackets and pants, and it's the ultimate in waterproofness and breathability. It's been around for a long time, extremely functional, still known as the top tier method for wet weather protection. Now, Gore-Tex is a product made by a company called W.L. Gore, and one of the companies or divisions of W.L. Gore is a company called Sitka out of Bozeman, Montana. Now, Sitka began making ultimate top tier hunting products with Gore-Tex laminates, and ultimately developed their own hunting pattern, which was unique in that it was based on animal vision, not human vision. So animals don't see like we see, and we know this. Ungulates, like deer and elk, can see in 2 color spectrums, or we see in 3. That's why hunter orange is not visible by animals and so common as a safety tool in the woods. But deer can't see it, we can. Well, the same thing goes with hunting patterns and camo, and Sitka developed a system called OPTIFADE. And I'm gonna kind of go through some of the offerings in OPTIFADE and what they are and why they are what they are, to help you choose, if you're shopping, a camo hunting system and be better prepared for what you're gonna encounter in the woods. So OPTIFADE, the science of it is based on, again, on how animals see, not how we see. So the open country pattern, as this one is called, it was developed largely for mountain hunting. So longer distance encounters, not up close, often above tree line. So the pattern, you'll see, it's a digital, it's a very modern pattern, but it's gonna have larger elements, smaller elements, different color breakup, and again, based on long distance encounters, often in the mountains. And the pieces vary from lightweight base layers all the way to heavyweight outer layers, and we'll get into more of that in a little bit. But first, let's just talk to patterns. So you have the open country pattern, developed for long distance mountain encounters. From that, they then developed their specialty elevated pattern, which is kind of a whitetail pattern. It's meant to be used elevated in a tree, which is the most common way of hunting whitetail. So this is their elevated 2. This is the 2nd gen of this pattern. So this is based on close encounters. So not long distance, far away. This is now, most whitetail encounters are in that 40-yard spectrum from a tree. So specifically deer vision. So this is based on, if you can imagine, most people mid to late season whitetail, trees are off the leaves, you're 20 feet up a tree. What does that view look like? It's often against a gray sky, it's typically gray bark. So you have a pattern that's meant to break you up and those kind of elements. So that's the elevated 2 pattern. Now, newest in the lineup is the new Subalpine pattern. And this one's got me pretty excited because this pattern fits well for the way that I like to hunt. I live in Tennessee, I live in the Southeast, but I travel. This is the new Subalpine pattern. So Subalpine was developed for close encounters, not in a tree, but on the ground. So your typical early season elk archery, when you're calling that rutting bull in, he's coming in close in archery range. It's also, though, gonna be great for whitetail hunting on the ground, spot and stalk hunting. So this new Subalpine is designed for close encounters at the ground level, not the elevated tree level. This is the 3rd offering in the big game hunting patterns. And then they have an even also more specialized waterfowl pattern. They actually have 2 waterfowl patterns. They have marsh and timber, and this is a pattern designed around, again, not how big game sees like deer and elk, but around how ducks see, which is a whole different little spectrum of light, and some UV elements come into play. But basically, this is a pattern designed around now, how does a duck or how does common waterfowl see? So it's a really cool, unique take on how to give you the best advantage in the field, which is ultimately what hunting, what clothing and systems are all about. It's how can you stay out there longer, be more comfortable in your environment, have a pleasurable experience. Nobody's ever killed anything from a computer or from a couch. You have to be out there in it. So the more you can be out there in it, having a good time, enjoying yourself, the better you're gonna be a success. So lastly, their approach beyond the pattern, ultimately a hunting system or hunting clothing is a system, it's not just an element. So the camo pattern is one element of that system. The other part of the system are the pieces themselves. It's a system for early season, a system for mid-season, a system for late season. So what I mean by a system, I mean base layers, insulation layers, and then outer layers. So your base layers are gonna be what wicks moisture away from your skin, helps you stay comfortable and dry in your environment, get that moisture out to you into your mid layers. The mid layers are then designed to push that moisture out through your outer layers if you're wearing them in harsh weather. So the way to think about that is everything's interchangeable. So you can adjust your system to the day. Oftentimes when you're hunting, you're gonna start at a very, very cold morning. By midday, it might be warmer. So you can maybe peel things off, but never lose that functionality. So you can always be adjusting on the fly. You'll wanna choose those pieces of that system wisely based on the duration of your trips. If you're going on multi-day trips, obviously the least you can bring and use the most is beneficial for keeping the weight, your pack weight down. If you're going out just for a day trip in a whitetail tree, basically you know you're gonna be in a situation where you're gonna go in, not overly exert yourself, and then probably sit still for a long time and get cold. So that ultimate kind of microclimate when you're in a whitetail tree, the system and pieces and the features are all based on those kind of benefits and technology. So you'll see little details like on the whitetail pieces, an opening in the back for your tree stand harness so that when you move you're unrestricted. You'll see a tip on the leg for resting if you hunt with a recurve from a tree, resting the tip of your bow. You'll see pockets for range finders. On the big game pieces, there's a lot more of it's mobile storage. So I have nice big thigh pockets. I'll keep hats and face masks and things always in certain pockets at the ready so that when it comes time to that crucial moment, I'm not fumbling around trying to get them, trying to find them and messing up the scenario. So if you want to learn more about Sitka's pieces and systems, you can check them out at sitkagear.com. They have a great system builder there so you can pick for when you hunt, what are the recommended items. You can see stories from the field, great breakdown of all the features, and find your local dealer.